When I was an early childhood teacher and reading specialist, I learned the importance of reading to and with young students as the centerpiece of teaching reading. After all, children's books are the models of the entire point of reading and models of all the skills we teach emergent readers. The phonological skills, such as how the sounds of letters combine to create words, how words are arranged to create sentences, and how some words rhyme. Books provide models of the symbols called letters and how they are read. And reading books with children is a fun and community building experience in which children sit together with the teacher. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom by Bill Martin Jr. is an excellent example of a book that becomes an experience when a teacher reads the book with expression and a sense of fun, making it almost like a song. Invite students to join in, chanting, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, will there be enough room, as they watch the letters climbing up the coconut tree. The predictable text of many books like this invites children into the circle of learning and joy. Think about sharing books with predictable text, like If You Give a Mouse a Cookie by Laura Joffe Numeroff, Brown Bear, What Do You See by Bill Martin Jr., Silly Sally by Audrey Wood, and Bark George by Jules Pfeiffer. These types of books invite shared reading experiences, and children will want to read them over and over again with the teacher. And as they emerge as readers, they will want to hold the books in their own little hands and read them by themselves or with classroom friends. But I never stopped there. One of the great things about books for young children is that they're pretty short. So I had time to read a second and a third book. Part of my role as an early childhood teacher was to be a curator of the books I selected to read with my little literacy learners, and I took this very seriously. During our morning circle time, I always read at least 3 books with my students. Reading a predictable text set the tone for the day while sharing models of words that rhyme or featured alliteration. Next, I read a storybook that facilitated discussions of story elements like characterization, plot, sequence, or problem solving. These books were models that developed that most essential skill of comprehension. There are a vast number of storybooks that are very excellent. These can include traditional fairy tales, fables, and traditional books like The Little Red Hen and Stregonona. The point is that they should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a logical sequence of events. I also like books with engaging illustrations. I've collected a number of books to share with students over the years, so I'll share a couple of my favorites. I love the book Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge by Mem Fox because it's a story of a little boy who visits a retirement home next door to his house every day and learns about the lives of the elderly residents. Not only does this book teach comprehension skills and story elements, but it teaches empathy as it considers the lives of others at the end of their lives and Wilfred's desire to make their lives bright and meaningful. I also love Tops and Bottoms by Janet Stevens, a trickster tale with a unique presentation. The Name Jar by Yang Suk Choi, the story of a young Korean girl navigating her new life in the United States. And Chicken Sunday by Patricia Polacco, the story of a young Russian American girl and her African American friends. I could go on and on. It's always an adventure to discover all the wonderful storybooks for children. I love to spend time at the library, perusing all the books. I always focus on finding books that would serve as mirrors and windows for my children, giving them a lens into their own lives, as well as a lens for learning about people unlike them and communities unlike their own. What a gift to give our students. The third book I would read to my young literacy learners was a nonfiction selection. I made a point of listening to my students throughout the day. What was captivating their attention? I learned a lot from their conversations. It could be an insect that crawled across the floor that fascinated them, or an upcoming holiday like Halloween or pumpkin carving. Sometimes they talked about foods they liked or didn't like, or sports activities, or the weather, or the construction project that was going on next door. These topics provided clues into what types of informational texts, nonfiction selections I'd read to them. And these are great books to use while engaging in conversations about students' interests and can lead to fun projects. Conversation is a very important part of literacy development in young children. Reading aloud provides amazing opportunities for children to share in conversations. Embedded in these activities are opportunities to talk about the reading skills children are learning. Circle time was also when I would introduce new reading skills like phonemic awareness and phonics. The books I'd share with my children were the models of those skills. So it's important that teachers don't simply read through a book just to get to the end. Rather, excellent teachers pause to point out specific features within the books that relate to the skills they are learning. Maybe most importantly, reading aloud is experiential learning in which the teacher shares a love of reading, the joy in learning, and the ability of books to create a vibrant and caring learning community.